Hey everybody, Eric in the garden today. Want to do a quick update on what the roses are looking like. So far so good. We had that rainstorm the other day. Just starting to see some color on some of them. This is Double Delight. You can see that's not far away from opening. This one over here is Mr. Lincoln. This is kind of my fragrance garden. I tried to have most of the fragrant roses. So I've got Dolly Parton here, Double Delight, Mr. Lincoln, in the back Yolande de Aragon. Over here, Secret, that's another one that is fragrant. That's also starting to open up. So things are looking pretty good. I noticed that a lot of the growth has been good with that rain we had. You can see the leaves are looking very good. I may tend to spray again. Usually I do once a week, but with that heavy rain, I noticed that a lot of the residue of the spray is gone. But you can see a nice bud there. Mr. Caleb, and here's another John Smith rose. He hybridized Randy Scott. This is one of his other creations. If I can move these leaves out of the way, that's Baby Splush. Nice pink rose. So on the whole, things are looking pretty good. This is the part of the garden that gets a little afternoon shade. Kind of wish I had more shade now I think about it with a hot climate down here. Here's one that's done really well. This is a Marlin's Day, and you'll notice the leaves are very similar to Moonstone. That's because this is Sport of Moonstone. Has a little bit more pink in it than the original. One quick thing I want to mention, as you're getting some blooms in your garden, certain varieties will tend to do what's called a spray, and that's where it has smaller side buds. And there's something you can do if you just want one long single stem rose. You can go around and disbud these. And Crystalline, I've done most of it already. This one is kind of known for having a lot of side buds. And if you want this nice single bloom, if you see any growth coming down from below, you want to remove that. So here's an example right here. Here's the main bud. And then you get these little side shoots, side buds. And if you just pull those off, what will happen is, now that I've removed 2 side buds, I just have one single stem rose. If you wanted a spray, which is kind of a cluster of flowers, you would remove the middle one. So it's all what you want. I've got to be honest, certain varieties do it more than others. Crystalline has a lot of sprays, whereas this one over here, Affirm, does not. I have not had to do that too much. Sometimes you will, and here's an example. There's the main bud, here's a little side bud. If you just remove those, I'm not too concerned with it. Not going to be doing any rose shows this year, so not as concerned with it. If I were doing a rose show, then I would definitely go around and make sure to disbud as much as I can. So as your roses are blooming in the garden, as you're taking a walk, that's one thing you can do. And again, you're looking for these the main bud and the side buds. This is a good example on Hot Princess. I've got 4 buds there. In that case, you might want a spray. If I wanted a spray, I leave the smaller side buds and I remove the middle one. So in that case, these 3 buds are going to bloom at about the same time. So that's a nice spray. So it's really what you want. A lot of times in that case, the side buds were so dominant and there were so many of them, I disbudded it so that the spray would develop. Meanwhile, if you have something like this, where the main bud is already farther along and you just have really, really little side buds, I prefer to take the side buds out. So it's really preference. You don't have to do any of this, but if you want all single stem roses, single stem as in 1 bloom per stem, you're going to want to remove those side buds. And again, it just depends on the variety. Some are more likely to do this than others. This is Hot Princess. Again, just remove the 2 side ones. Do you have to go out there in the garden and do this? You certainly don't, but it doesn't take very long. And then this one will be a nice long stem rose. You want to talk about long stem, this is about a 2-foot long cane. So that's going to be a nice long stem rose. So that's it here in the garden. I do want to wrap up with some other plantings. I know we talk a lot about roses, but I want to come over here and show what's going on in this other garden. We've got the Encore azaleas. We did have to tie up these climbers. This is Dublin Bay, mentioned that we had a windstorm and some rain. They're starting to look good. But I'm going to end with these hellebores over here. My mom sent these, or ordered these, got these in the mail the other day. I was really impressed with the packaging. You know, you probably get a lot of bare root things in terms of roses in the mail, but pretty neat packaging. It was held together with, or held tight with a rubber band. It's actually 6 individual plants. And then they had paper, newspaper on top. Again, nothing new. A lot of companies do that, but I thought it was very well packaged. These hellebores grow in a more shady environment. They can take some sun, but they'll go in our shade garden. Deer resistant, and they tend to be some good plants. So we're going to try them down here. So what else do you grow in the garden? We've got some azaleas here and some other things. These are hellebores. Kind of curious, comment below. This channel is a lot about roses, but what else do you grow? And I thought you might kind of think that was neat in terms of the packaging for this. Have a great day, everybody.